Hey, what's up you guys? Another video today, and I'm going to be doing something a little weird today. I've never done a response video before, but I'm going to try my hand at that today because I saw a video earlier today by a popular YouTuber named Scotty Kilmer, who does a lot of repair how-tos and stuff, similar to the kinds of stuff that I do sometimes. And he did this video about why you shouldn't buy a turbocharged car. And being the turbo enthusiast that I am at times, I thought that was a little strange. So I thought I would watch that with you guys today and give you my thoughts. So let's pull this up. Okay, right off the bat, I just want to say, first of all, the guy in a Mustang telling you that turbos suck is kind of a cliche. Second of all, isn't that a Cobra badge? So then wouldn't that be a GT500, which is supercharged? Is he saying that superchargers are okay, but turbos are not? Okay, so there's an intro here, so we're going to skip ahead a little bit.
Cars like this Ford Focus Titanium Flex Fuel do have turbochargers in them, and they do it for one main reason. This one is turbocharged and has gasoline direct fuel injection.
Which is a really common thing in modern cars.
Now this is done for one main reason. You get a smaller engine, a turbocharger gives it a lot more power. So you can have a small engine, but still have a lot of power.
Okay, that is true, although honestly, it's a little more in depth than that, and I'm sure he knows that as well. But I just want to point out that manufacturers are under a lot of pressure to do a couple different things with cars nowadays. First of all, no one wants a car that's a slouch. No one's going to buy a car that has barely enough power to pull itself. The days of the Geo Metro being marketable are far behind us. So they have to make a certain amount of power in these cars or people aren't going to buy them. Second of all, everyone wants fuel efficiency and as much as they can possibly get. So the particular cars he seems to be referencing here are Ford's EcoBoost engines. But if you look at their stats, these cars get better fuel economy than the normally aspirated version of that car in a four-cylinder, yet make as much power or sometimes more power than a larger engine version like a V6 or a V8. So I'm not getting why that doesn't make sense yet, but let's just see what else he has to say.
And get good gas mileage at the same time. And here's how it works. The turbocharger is connected to the exhaust system. It spins really fast and it compresses air and sends extra air into the engine.
Okay, I don't want to show his video in its entirety here. I will leave a link down in the description for you guys to check it out, but I don't want to steal anyone's material. But I know right here, basically, he's just explaining how a turbo works. If anyone doesn't understand how a turbo works, feel free to ask me or watch his video, but I'm going to skip ahead for the sake of keeping this video short.
Because you're ramming more air in, but most people that are driving with turbos are always step on the gas really hard to go fast, and that negates it, and you actually get worse gas mileage from driving faster all the time.
Oh my God, what to comment about this? First of all, this argument basically comes down to don't buy turbo cars because you don't have self-control, which I think is not a very good argument. I know how to not drive really hard. So if I'm after fuel economy, you can't say that I can't get it because I can't stop from speeding. That doesn't make any sense. Second of all, if you're a performance enthusiast and you're trying to drive like a bat out of hell, as he says, and you want a fast car, you're not going to buy an EcoBoost four-cylinder Fusion. I don't think this is a good example. That car makes good power for its fuel economy and for the size of the engine, but a race car, it is not.
And that's certainly the case with me. Anytime I drive a turbo, I get horrible gas mileage because I'm always driving like a maniac. Once again, so the argument here is turbo cars suck because I have no self-control. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and see what else he has to say. So much faster than a normally aspirated car that doesn't have a turbocharger on it. Now, modern turbos are pretty sophisticated, though. I remember years ago when I was a kid, a friend had a Kawasaki motorcycle that had a turbocharger on it, and it scared the heck out of me. Because back in those days, they had really bad turbo lag. you're giving a lot of gas, nothing would happen, then in a second or two later, it would take off like mad.
Turbos are bad because of turbo lag, guys. The arguments that we've been hearing since, what, the 80s, I think. By the way, this is the reason why Nissan wouldn't even send the S13 or S14 240SXs over here with the turbo SR20 engines in them, because Americans had such of a dislike for turbos, and oh my God, the buzzword back then was turbo lag. Ooh, they lag, they're so slow. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, we can't have nice things. But regardless,
that Kawasaki scared me so much I got off it, never got back on it. No.
Turbos are bad because I'm scared. I'm gonna skip ahead again a little bit.
Turbo lag. But you realize that many turbos need to run on premium gas for them to run correctly. Some of the modern ones don't. But if you don't use high test in them, they won't have the horsepower that they will if you use premium gas. So
you shouldn't get a turbo, because if you can't afford premium one time, you'll lose 2% efficiency. Ooh.
When you take all this into consideration and realize that turbochargers cost an awful lot of money and they do eventually wear out, when I want good gas mileage, I go for a 4-cylinder engine that's set up for good gas mileage that doesn't have a turbocharger. And if I want power, I go for a car that's got a bigger engine that isn't turbo.
So basically what he's saying here is it's more efficient to have one car with a big engine and one car with a small engine. So see, it's easy, guys. When you're out and you're on a long commute and you need good gas mileage and you're in your Toyota Corolla, and then you suddenly get the urge to drive in a spirited manner, or someone challenges you and you have to race or something, you just stop where you are, have them stay there, run back home, pick up your Mustang, come back to where they are, race them really quickly, leave the car there, go back, wait, no, how you, but then you, and then now your commute. This argument doesn't make much sense. I'm gonna see, we're gonna look at one more piece. Okay, so that's effectively it, I think, as far as that video and what he has to say about that. I just want to make the point, okay, I get he's ragging on turbo cars because more than likely it's a controversial subject and he's going to get views. But I just want to say, first of all, the engines that he's talking about, he's saying that the maintenance is going to be worse because it's turboed and because turbochargers are expensive. Do you really buy a brand new car and expect to have to put a turbo on it? Because I don't think so. Also, modern turbos are a lot more reliable than they used to be. I know at one point in the video, and like I said, I'll link to his video, so go check it out and you can see everything he says. But at one point in the video, he says that the boost is going to make more pressure in the engine, which could make the engine wear out faster. Okay, that makes no sense at all. First of all, a lot of turbo engines are lower compression than NA engines are anyway. Yes, when they make boost, their effective cylinder pressure is a little higher. But when they're not in boost, their effective cylinder pressure is lower. Which are you going to spend more time on? I mean, he's not talking about a race car. He's talking about a Ford Fusion, a daily commuter. If you're driving to work every day and you're staying in boost the whole way there, first of all, you might be me. Second of all, you're not exactly using it in the way it was intended. If you drive it normally, it's not hard for a turbo car to stay out of boost for as long as you want. I mean, if you don't put your foot down, you're never going to make boost. So in those cases, I don't see how any engine wear is going to be higher than average. If anything, maybe lower than average. Now, some of the very modern engines, like what he's talking about, the EcoBoost engines, are high compression in addition to being turbo. And yes, in that regard, they may have higher cylinder pressures than, by a certain amount, than the NA counterparts. But I promise you, that alone is not going to be the reason why the engine wears out any faster. If you take care of it, if you do what it's supposed to be done as far as your maintenance and stuff goes, there's no reason you're going to have a shorter life because it's turbo. I mean, let's talk about another form of boost that coincidentally he seems to have. And let's talk about roots blowers, like the M90 on my GTP. Those make boost, can make boost at idle. I mean, if the bypass valve was closed. The point is they make boost at a very low RPM. It's harder to stay out of boost in a roots blower car than it is in a turbo car. And yet my GTP, I have two GTPs, both of which are a good bit past 200,000 miles on the original engines, original head gaskets, never having had any internal problems at all. If boost was really a significant difference, then I would see supercharged 3800s falling apart at 200,000 miles and NA 3800s surviving another 100,000 miles. And that's not what we see. They have about the same engine life. So that's a moot point. But regardless, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to slight him, his content is good. He obviously knows what he's doing. But in this particular case, I just think he's off base. And I've owned turbo cars. I've worked on turbo cars. I have tons of friends that still have turbo cars. I even had an NA car turned turbo, which is a little less reliable, but that's a whole different story. The point is, to me, especially when you're talking about newer cars where you're going to be buying them with low mileage to begin with, change your oil. If you can't change your oil, your engine's not going to last. It doesn't matter if it's turbo or not. That's basic car ownership 101. Change your oil. Keep your maintenance good. If you have a turbo car and you do drive it hard, when you come to a stop, let it idle for a few minutes. Let the turbo cool down a little bit before you shut it off. That's not a big change over what you would do with an NA car. So I don't think that's much to ask. And then enjoy the fact that you get better gas mileage than a larger engine would get when you need to, as long as you can control yourself, but at the same time can make a lot more power than the smaller engines. And instead of having to go home and get your fast car to race somebody, hell, race them in the car you drove there in. That's my opinion though. You guys tell me in the comments what you think. Am I right? Are turbos awesome? Is he right? Are turbos the end of the world? I don't know. It's up to you guys. Let me know what you think, but thank you for watching. I just wanted to make this response video because I felt like there was another side of that story. If you like what I had to say, subscribe to my channel. I have new videos coming out this Wednesday, and I will check you guys later. Peace!